welcome to Salute Your Shorts 2020. I am Kyle Angrendis. I was in Salute Your Shorts 2019 with Fraser Syndrome and Me. I won runner-up Best Documentary, so it is an honor to be here with such an amazing documentary, Ashes to Ashes. If you guys could introduce yourselves and how you got, and then say a little bit about how you got involved in this project or created the project.
Well, Ashes to Ashes was a funeral service for African Americans who was lynched, and it was done April the 29th, 2016 in Springfield, Massachusetts. And the core of it was to have a funeral service for African Americans who had been lynched. And from that, a film was done.
Yeah, and I met Shirley, and well, I grew up on the same Shirley in Massachusetts, and she was kind of organizing a community neighborhood meeting to talk about her Ashes to Ashes ceremony, and they were looking for someone to help document it. And my dad was there that evening and told Shirley to call me that I could help, and got the call and was really honored to be able to support her and put together a team of filmers. And it was a couple years of documenting her, interviewing her. Through Shirley, I met Winfred Rembert, who is the other character in the film, and we all went down together to, to talk with him and learn about his story. And then just the process of editing has also been a big collaboration with a lot of story advisors and writers. And yeah, we're just really excited that it's out into the world now.
Well, it's a beautiful documentary. Like, boy, does it tug on the heartstrings, but it's so powerful. And I just love how documentaries can also show other forms of art, and that's just so prevalent here. Art there's just like so many different languages in art, and like everyone is hit here, and I love that. If you would talk a little bit more about the Dr. Whitaker, if the masses, they're so powerful. Are there any other counties or towns or states that want to do more masses, or are you doing more in the same area? Is there anything on those lines?
The film was shown in Savannah in, I think, January of this year. And they want to do a reenactment. And I think also in Charlottesville, Virginia, they would like to do reenactment. People are going to the museum in Montgomery and bringing back plaques of people who have been lynched. And they want a service to go with that.
Yeah.
So some are thinking about this being the service to bring these plaques back with the names of those who have been lynched from their area. So that's some possibilities, and it definitely was planning on doing that in Savannah. And I think COVID sort of sidelined that, but I think they eventually will get to doing that because they thought this would be the appropriate way to present or to bring back those plaques to their homes.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's exactly what I was hoping to hear. So how long did it take to make the movie?
It took a number of years, actually. So it was we self-funded, which kind of allowed us to, in some ways, just took a little bit of time with the edit, but allowed us to like have a lot of space for bringing in different story advisors, given the subject matter, kind of talking through what it means to put out a film right now about pain and trauma within the Black community, especially as a white filmmaker. So we did about a year of filming, starting with interviewing Shirley and the ceremony, and years actually of putting edits together, running by friends, working through, how to merge Shirley's work and Winfred's work together, because they are very different. They deal with similar subject matters in their work, but have unique stories and approaches. So I wanted to make sure we were kind of giving, honoring both of their unique kind of ways of looking at this part of history. And once we finally kind of honed in on, from the hours and weeks of footage that we had on what this short story would be, we were able to finish the edit in LA with the composer there and the editor there. And it released actually about a little over a year ago for the first time. And so it's still on its festival run. And it's been a pretty amazing journey, a number of years.
Awesome. I did have a bounce off question. As the film continues to grow, what do you hope the film contributes to the growth of society, like right now?
So you're asking, what do I think would come from this film?
Yeah, what do you think it contributes to, like Black Lives Matter and all that? It's such a great topic for right now and always, but
Right.
if people are hearing it now.
I think the core of why Ashes was done was because these lives mattered to me.
Yeah.
And the main thing I just wanted to do was to give them their ashes, a funeral service for them. This is one way that the Klan would take away all of the final right. And I want to give that back to them and to their families. And so that's the core of why it started. And then from that, the film was recommended and, we went from there. But why was it done? It was done because I always felt pain for these people. I always thought they were, should not be forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
And from that, I hope that, who could think in 2015 that we would be here now? Yeah. And that people are talking about speak your name and ashes, lynching. And that's a central part of this film is speaking names and honoring these people and not forgetting them and saying you matter to us. And so that's what, the core of it. From that, we hope to have some extension of Ashes to Ashes with International Speak My Name Day and weave that with some education. And so that's a continuation of a sense of Ashes to Ashes. When you see the film, you see where little kids come up and spoke some names. I always wanted to do that. And so I wanted to let that part, be developed a little bit more. And so that's one thing I'm thinking about doing now.
Awesome. So cool. How many of his art is done now? He said 5, and I think he said 50 he had to go or something like that. How many are completed?
Yeah, it's he was referencing 50 photos of his life in particular, his personal story that he's working through. But Winfred has done hundreds of pieces of work around not just his own personal life, but growing up, the place that he lived, around cotton, around chain gang, like various things. So I don't know the exact number in terms of his own personal story.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's one thing sometimes people get a little confused about, because he has a body of work of hundreds and hundreds of paintings that are in his book, and some are even available for sale. So I think people looking to support him can go to winfredrembert.com, and Shirley also has a website, ashesforever.com, and it's all pretty Googleable. But yeah, so I don't know the exact answer to that question.
I don't either. I know that he has done.
All right. So at a time like
others that you're saying, he's done the cotton.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm just saying that she was right, that although the core of, he talks about completing 50,
yeah.
He's done a body of work that's been very varied, but it stems around his development, his growing, his picking cotton, et cetera, being in prison and all that. All those are outside of the ones that deal with lynching. And I think that's what the 50 is going to be centered around him, the fact that he was lynched and all the problems that come with that,
Mhm.
on the process of being lynched.
So at a time like now, quarantine, COVID, art, I personally find that art is a muscle that needs to be stretched, and it can be so healing in so many things. How important are you finding art at a time like this?
As far as me, I've always found art to be a way of me expressing and addressing things that concern me.
Mm-hmm.
Always. So this is nothing new. I don't think COVID pushed me to do any more than I'm doing, but I've always done some form of art that addressed concerns that I had from people's the lynching thing. I've done a painting with that. I've done painting of the South and things. So different issues that I felt important, and I use art to express that and to bring it in some permanent form that I can share with others, but find a release for me to put, I'm working on a piece now from one of the, this Black lady that was lynched, and a statue was done of her that is in the Boston Museum now, but I'm doing a sketch of her based on what I feel was a true story about her. So.
Taylor, how about you?
Yeah, I was just reflecting the other day with a friend who reminded me that, after the Great Recession, after times of war, that there's these renaissances of art and culture that happen where people kind of come out of great challenges through art, and that art is the thing that kind of like revives and is a part of not just personal healing but collective healing. And I think we're seeing that now, and I really believe that we'll see that more into the future. I mean, with COVID, yeah, I mean, it's all tied together, with what people are struggling with our economy and losing jobs, I think is some of the scariest parts of COVID. And, I hope to see art and a celebration of art from all different voices, of all kinds, like really, really elevated in these times. And I think we are starting to see that.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of excited for like festivals in like 2 years, when all the big films that came out of this, like all this thinking that everybody's doing, it's gonna be a big festival year. Well, thank you so much for.
I thought that.
What? I'm sorry.
I just want to say that as far as art, music has allowed African Americans, I think, their form of expression. When they couldn't carve or paint, they used music. And that has always been there. Winfred talks about when he was in prison, how music helped him. And I'm sure that's what people are using now to survive this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have to agree with that for sure. Music is literally the escape. I don't know, that I personally love. So I can see that definitely. All right, well, thank you guys for joining me. It's been lovely. Thank you, Salute Your Shorts. Yeah.
Thank you so much for hosting the film for your community, and thanks for the time as well.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.